Pokemon ROM hacking dates all the way back to the late 90s, right around when Pokemon Red and Blue themselves first came out. However, many of those ROM hacks only featured minor changes to the original Kanto titles, and for the most part, all they were trying to do was make Pokemon R-rated. So which game was the first to successfully include a brand new region and storyline? Well, the answer is Pokemon Brown, developed by Coolboy Man and released in the early 2000s. This fan-made Pokemon game features your journey through the Dijon? I don't know how to pronounce it region, where you can catch many of your classic companions while taking down good old Team Rocket. Without Pokemon Brown, we wouldn't have things like Pokemon Radical Red nowadays, as this Gen 1 ROM hack really started it all. Not only that, but I believe it's still receiving updates to this day, which is awesome. Anyways, if you enjoy content like this, then be sure to hit that sub button as it really helps out the channel. And without further ado, it's time to give this OG the love it deserves and adventure through the first Pokemon ROM hack. Now it's worth mentioning that I'm not playing on the latest version, but that's not too big of a deal. You begin by speaking with Tim, who I suppose is the Pokemon Professor of Region, but he doesn't have the Professor title, so maybe he's just a random dude. Anyways, you end up in your house, located in Seashore City. After receiving some motivational words from this guy outside, you can head south to Gravel Town, where Tim is waiting to hand you one of the 3 Kanto starters. Because Squirtle is the only right option here, I went with it before being challenged by our rival, Mira. Yeah, you can't name your rival or anything, but I probably wouldn't have come up with anything better. You can then stop by the mart in order to pick up Tim's pizza. Yeah, this only further backs up my theory of Tim just being a random dude, but then again, he owns Pokédexes, so maybe I'm wrong. After that, you're put straight into Murson Cave, which contains a few trainers, and leads you to Route 54. I decided to grab a Doduo while here, before arriving in Murson City. The only places of note here are the Pokemon Fan Club, where you can grab the bike voucher, and the gym. Cartman is a water-type gym leader who uses a Horsea and Vaporeon. I can't tell if Cartman is supposed to be some sort of reference to Magikarp, or if that's just his name. Nonetheless, the Marine badge was ours within a couple of minutes. North of Murson City was Route 55, home to the KBM Games building and all the people that helped develop Pokemon Brown. Besides this guy who's just a fan. But yeah, you go dude! You can also nab a Porygon on the roof before continuing into Route 52, where I added a Magmar to my squad. I gotta say, so far I love the variety of wild Pokemon early on in the game, as some other mainline Pokemon games just don't feature wild Pokemon like this in the early portions. Hayward City is the next stop, and you'll need to knock out this Team Rocket grunt before running into Mira again. His team is pretty interesting, as it includes a Koffing, Doduo, and Cubone, along with his starter. I'm really glad that they didn't just copy and paste the rival's team from Red and Blue into Pokemon Brown. After dealing with the Nugget crew, whose leader is now an ex-Team Rocket grunt, and picking up Cut on Route 50, you'll reach Alsori City? Oh boy, I definitely said that one wrong. This town has plenty of notable buildings like the daycare, name raider, game corner, and a gym. The leader, Lily, specializes in ice types like Jinx and a Lapras that is pretty tough to take out. For your victory though, you'll get the Hail badge, along with the TM for Ice Beam. The other exit from the city takes you to the Silk Tunnel, which leads to Moraga Town. There's some sort of academy here, but the teacher gave me detention for breathing, and I don't even think this guy is a student. So the only other thing to do in town is battle the gym leader, Lewis from Family Guy. Her team of grass types includes Gloom, Weepinbell, and Ivysaur, but nothing that Magmar couldn't handle. She'll hand over the Sprout badge, and then it's on to Route 60. I elected to catch a Venonat here, as that's a Pokemon that I've always wanted to use. Beyond that route is Jayru City, where you can buy a beer keg of all things. Make sure to at least buy one, as it'll actually come in handy very soon in the game, believe me or not. First though, you gotta take care of the gym leader, Sparky, who's so confident that a little kid can't beat his electric types. Yeah, how'd that one work out for you, buddy? Something that I've completely forgot to mention though is the fact that your character talks in this game. I know, it's crazy that your character can actually use their mouth for once. In the middle of Route 59 lies the Silph Warehouse, which is being occupied by a bunch of Team Rocket grunts and of course Giovanni. By defeating him, I guess you've already taken care of Team Rocket? Yeah, it seems like there just wasn't too much of a plot with these guys. And what's even worse is the fact that the manager only gives you a shiny stone for saving them. Come on, man, where's my Master Ball? I should have let them take over this place. Anyways, it's time to put that beer keg to use, as you can hand it to the man guarding Botan City. I don't think this should be the guy guarding a city. There's a random cave here where you can get the red orb. I'm not sure if that means we'll be able to catch Groudon later on, but I assume it's for something important. North of Botan City lies the Haunted Forest, which you can't complete just yet, but Mira is waiting for a rematch. This time around, he owns a Gastly and a Larvitar, but no changes to his team will allow him to beat me. On the opposite side of Botan City sits Castro Valley, home to the Pokemon Mansion, as well as the 5th gym leader, Koji, who uses a variety of fighting types. You'll receive the Fist Badge as a reward, and then you need to find the virus scanner in the basement of the mansion, as that'll allow you to reach the final area of the Haunted Forest, save Mr. Rumiko, and receive the Pokeflute. After a trip through Route 62 and 61, you'll run into the first of 2 Snorlax before entering the power plant. Here you have the option to catch either Zapdos or Raikou. I think the game just randomly gives you one of them to fight, but I'm going to save that battle for another day. At this point, it's time to backtrack to your hometown in order to face Cheryl, the 6th gym leader. First off, the puzzle is incredibly unique. As soon as you enter the gym, it looks like you get kicked back out, but you're actually in some kind of alternate dimension, as now there are a bunch of trainers around Seashore City, and Cheryl will be waiting for you on an island. I might go as far as saying that this is one of the coolest gym puzzles out of any Pokemon game. It's also very fitting considering that Cheryl utilizes psychic types and you get the Psy badge for winning. Your next places to visit include the Castro Forest and another gym that's kind of just sitting in the middle of nowhere. It's ran by Joe, who uses normal types. Yeah, Joe seems like the type of guy who would place a gym in the middle of a route. Afterwards, you can head west of Alsori City or whatever it's called and trek up the cycling road. By the way, you can turn in your bike voucher in Jayru City. This will eventually lead you to the Johto region, believe it or not. I mean, you can only explore Route 34, the Ilex Forest, and Azalea Town, but Bugsy is still up for a battle, even though it won't count towards the Region League. Nonetheless, by defeating his bug types, you can choose to add a Gligar or Sneasel to your team, which is pretty neat. Getting back on track though, you can surf west of Joe's gym and end up in Igalo City, home to this game's version of the Safari Zone. There's also an entrance to Mount Boulder, which funnels into the Region Tunnel, taking you to this guy's house in Hayward City. By exchanging the red amulet with him, he'll give you the HM for strength. It would have been nice to know that I needed the red amulet from the Silph Warehouse first though, before coming all the way over here. Moving on, the Igalo Gym sits inside a different cave entrance, and one of the trainers in here goes by Palette Patrol. My only guess is that this is a reference to Pokemon Prism, because I recall some people in that game looking like this guy, but I don't really have a clue what he's doing here. All I wanted to do was take on Giovanni and receive the 8th badge. The badge check is located above Jayru City, and because there's no Victory Road in this game, you're already inside the Pokemon League. So after stocking up on some items, it was time for the first Elite Four member, Red. No, not the super cool and famous Red, just some lady that uses fire types. Next up is Jared, who specializes in poison types, followed by the only original member of the Kanto Elite Four, Agatha, who still enjoys using ghost types. Lastly, there's Drake, and I'm not sure if he's supposed to be the same Drake from the Hoenn region. Probably not, since this Drake uses fake dragon types. Yeah, that's right, I busted you. However, there was no fooling around when it came to the champion battle against the one and only Mira. His awesome team consists of Dodrio, Tyranitar, Weezing, his fully evolved starter, and some combination of Leafeon, Politoed, and Houndoom, depending on the starter you selected. Even though my team was almost 30 levels lower than his, I still managed to get the dub, which Mira didn't take lightly. Yeah, he sort of acts like a sore loser before getting roasted by Tim, but all that matters is that we are now the new champions of the Region region. which sounds a little weird to say. But with that, we have done just about all there is to do in the main storyline of Pokemon Brown. There is indeed a post-game, but if you've been around on the channel, then you know exactly what I'm saving it for. It's clear that many events in this game were nearly identical to ones in Pokemon Red and Blue, just mixed around a bit. But you gotta remember, this ROM hack was made in the early 2000s when Pokemon ROM hacks didn't even exist. So in my opinion, Cool Boy Man did an amazing job of creating this new region for the player to explore. There was also some funny dialogue here and there, which was always fun to read. For now though, I hope you guys enjoyed, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces!